It wasn't easy getting this. I had to kill 2 men.
Do you want it or not?
Of course.
Once you open this case, there's no going back.
It's been 7 years since I started my freshman year of high school. That makes me sad. So much has happened since, most of which I don't remember. I wish I could know how I've changed and how others have. That would probably make me sad too. I think that's ordinary. Reminiscing always makes me sad, but I bask in its power. Maybe it's the distance I feel from my memories, regardless of their essence. Whether they're chilling or pleasant, bitter or funny. I do love the funny ones, though. Especially if I didn't find them funny at the time. Those ones tell me that I've grown, but that I don't have to hate parts of me that no longer exist. That loathing can be a real danger. I used to be terrified of drugs, even when my friends started doing them. Weed is a gateway drug. It's not entirely untrue. I wouldn't consider myself a violent person. An angry one, sure, but not violent. I once heard a story that a young child killed his mother with a gun he found in the house. My mother said he had a history of playing violent video games. It's a common argument. I think it has more to do with consequences. If a child hurts someone physically and that person is upset, the child will either regret what they've done or feel validation. That indicates their relationship with violence. Will playing a video game encourage a child to try out this violence in real life, only to end up understanding that hurting someone feels bad? Perhaps. If this is the case with the boy that killed his mother, I have to feel sad. He also had access to a gun and could have been messing around with it. Maybe this is a good time to be judgmental, to ensure that I do not make the same mistakes when I'm a parent. But there's just too many factors that I don't understand. I'll probably censor my children from violence as best I can. I almost failed geometry that year. The memory of a D in that class haunted me for years, but it made sense at the time. I would deliberately daydream about writing movies in class, once getting terribly embarrassed when Mr. Marley called on me to answer a question. The younger you are, the easier it is to make decisions based on emotion rather than logic. Maybe that's what's so sad. The further away a memory feels, the further I feel from letting my emotions rule me. We hate that, though. Logic is binary, the more ideal and the less ideal. Strong emotions are too complex, too annoying for us to deal with, to listen to. Instead, we opt for calcification. So what's in the briefcase? Well, what's in the briefcase is what was already in the briefcase. We created the plot around the actual contents of the prop. That's how it was then. One of us had a spark of an idea, and the next thing we knew we were dedicating the day to shooting it. It was almost exactly 1 year of making these short films, our freshman year. It ended abruptly, when the high school cross-country team discovered our YouTube channel, which caused us great anxiety. They didn't even dislike the videos, but we were not ready for anyone to see our work. Of course, we were the ones that uploaded them to YouTube. I guess our enthusiasm outweighed our self-consciousness for a time. The term listomania was coined by German poet Heinrich Heine. It referred to the fits that people would have at pianist Fran Liszt's performances. Women would attack him, tearing clothes from his body and fighting for locks of his hair. To our modern ears, this music may sound very far from styles that we associate with violence. But I think the relationship that people formed with his music must have been similar to how music affects our emotions today. Liszt was the first major performer to play from his own memory, which was powerful enough to deeply touch the largest crowds any pianist had ever seen. I learned lessons from my former self. I know I understood the meaningfulness of making these videos, regardless of how I feel about them now. I never enjoyed sports, but I understand how important it is to feel like part of a team, and that's what we were. A group of kids that dedicated ourselves to our work. Most of this work consisted of thin plots, heavy action, and subpar visual effects, but that didn't matter. We were expressing ourselves, through film and through violence. This violence was necessary to me, enlightening for me. It was fantasy. I could escape my academic problems and give myself to my emotions, creating with them without having to suppress anything. I'm sure it wasn't always so easy, but I look back on these videos and I'm still proud of what we accomplished. Unfortunately, there aren't many memories of the work outside of the videos, but I see people that I miss. We've all grown, or at least changed, and that can hurt. For some reason, I was often the character that got killed, tortured, punched, kicked, that sort of thing. Though, that extended outside of our video making. I'd fight my brother, who was bigger and stronger than me. I'd get hurt, but I'd always recover. Resilience? Maybe. Masochism? There's that too. 7 years on, I'm finding beauty in new ways. In the subtle things, in my memories, in chance, in all the things that could have been in the briefcase, but weren't.